I want to shift gears and talk about Vivian Campbell. I had it in my head that every guitar player that I brought up in every one of these videos, or every one that I thought of, I would make another video about them. I probably missed a couple, but Vivian Campbell is somebody I wanted to talk about, because when Holy Diver came out, and for me, more specifically, Last in Line, this is another one of those where I listened to Last in Line more before I listened to Holy Diver. And just from the opening power chords and just the great, I don't know, the really energy-filled opening of We Rock all the way through Last in Line. Well, I think the first song I heard from that record was Last in Line, the title track. And the only thing about that is I don't know about the keyboard part, how well it fits. This is in retrospect, but I remember the solo blew me away. And then that drummer friend of mine that I mentioned from the Matthias Jobs video, this was another guy he talked about at that time, back in the mid-'80s, early to mid-'80s. He's like, he didn't know the guy's name. He was just like, that guitar player for Dio is insane, man. He's totally got rhythm and lead. And I hadn't really been paying attention. Then I did after that. It was like, yeah, this guy does. He has incredible rhythms. And he's a great lead player. Like, unsurpassed, really, at this time. At that time, he was like cutting edge, Vivian Campbell. Now, he goes into Def Leppard later. I don't listen to Def Leppard for whatever reason. So I lost track of him. And then he's feuding with Ronnie James Dio back and forth. Part of me was almost like, it's show business. I wonder if they agreed to do this. That's probably blasphemy, right? But I don't know. I really doubt. There's just a cynical side of me that always had that little 5% of doubt or whatever. I bet you, though, that it was a real feud, and that if Ronnie were here today, knowing what he knows now, that the two of them might have made up. I think, to paraphrase, Campbell was saying, I got tired of Ronnie and his D&D lyrics, his Dungeons and Dragons lyrics, but then I think later Vivian came out and said, I went back and I listened to those first 2 or 3 Dio records. He was on 3 of them. I think Sacred Heart was the 3rd. Got Holy Diver, Last in Line, Sacred Heart. I think then Campbell later said, those actually had an energy to them, that there was something there. And, to those of us who were unaware of any feuds or anything else, those first 2 in particular, to my way of thinking, were just... Those first 2 records, Holy Diver and Last in Line, they were incredible. And Vivian Campbell was somebody I highly admired as a guitar player.